Right, people, so we're back. So now we're going to speak about quantitative methods. In these methods, you can see in your table, if you have a look at it, we've got surveys, we've got correctional quantitative stuff, we've got casual comparative experiment evaluation. That is, you are basically going to do a survey. The ones underneath survey are a little bit more difficult than what you need to be doing at this stage. So the survey one is that you're looking at. So your quantitative method is you're going to interview. You are going to ask questions which you already have in a survey. The minute that you have that, then you are going into mixed methods, because undoubtedly you're working with people and you have to then go and see whether your hypothesis that you have drawn up, let's say, for example, you say, yes, online learning is going to work in the whole of education, right into the rural areas. Then you're going to go and see how many lecturers are approving online learning and how many of them can get into those rural areas, and whether the students have data and etc. So that immediately becomes a mixed method. The minute you work with people and you work with numbers, people is quantitative. You're asking their opinions. Qualitative is numbers. The minute you mix the two, you are going into mixed methods. And in these mixed methods, you can choose either one of these. It's convergent, parallels, explanatory, sequential, exploratory, but the one, etc., the one you're going to use, I'm telling you now, is going to be explanatory. You're going to have to let the guy explain to you why he thinks in the interview that online learning is the best thing at the moment in COVID times. So those are your three types that you need to know about at the moment. Now you're going to need a research method design. Right. As you can see, once again in the table, we've got how you're going to do a qualitative text. You're going to manage everything. How are you going to manage your interviews? At the moment, you cannot have face-to-face interviews with people. How are you going to manage it? What are you going to do? Are you going to email them? Are you going to phone them? Right? And the minute that you go into, and then you've got document analysis. Document analysis is a rather easy one. It's easier than to do. You have a questionnaire. I know from every one of you the assignments I've marked, you've got a questionnaire waiting for these guys. Right, but how are you going to question them? So your design comes in. And especially at the moment with COVID, you need to tell me, how the hell did you get that information? I need to know it. Did you email them? Did you phone them? And I'm telling you right now, people, it's not one of us in the education department. I want the transcripts of the people. I've asked you for 5. I want to hear the transcripts of every single person in those interviews that you asked. Where they're from, what background do they have, and what information do they have to give you. So that's a big part of your research areas and your research design. And then the next thing, obviously, under qualitative, you're going to be using a questionnaire, right? You cannot observe at the moment. That's action research. You cannot observe unless you're observing and you're shouting at the guy when he's 1.5 meters away from you. And document analysis, you're not going to do that. You are looking for people's opinions at the moment. And then you can see it even moves from interviews in quantitative. It goes into mixed methods because it's interviews, it's questionnaires, it's observations, and it's testing.